We are here. We are here. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith community. What up? Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know how we do. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. We are back at it, truly back at it. Honored to be here. Honored to be doing this work. And we are doing this work. I mean, we putting in that work, a lot of work over here in the Fruit Up with Bobby Smith community. And today, family, what I wanted to do for y'all was bring y'all some special insight from a special individual who I've had the honor of crossing paths with and going on a journey with. That's what you do when you cross paths and you identify with people. And this is a beautiful soul, beautiful person, beautiful woman, may I add. And she's just gorgeous, been a part of the Fruit Up with Bobby Smith community, been doing her thing online, growing as a person, growing as a woman, growing as an individual, growing as all of that. So I ain't gonna even hold y'all no more. I'm gonna bring her on. This is the wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous Courtney Akinniyi. What's going on, sis? How you doing today?
I am well. I am well. I am well. I am so thankful to be here on your platforms with you. Okay.
Indeed, indeed. I'm glad to have you. Like I just told everyone, we met her what, around September?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Early September. Been on the journey, been inside the Fruit Up with Bobby Smith community. I'm gonna let you tell the people a little bit about who you are, a little bit about your journey. Give you the floor a little bit, sis. Go ahead.
All right. So I am Courtney Akinniyi, and I'm actually a second time patient on dialysis. And if you don't know what that is, that means you have been diagnosed with chronic kidney disease because your kidneys are failing. Okay, your kidneys are failing. And so you are on a machine to help you do things that your body are unable to do. And you're probably like, second time patient. How did you land here a second time? Well, some of the things that I definitely want to talk to you all about is how important your environment is, how important, even more so than that, how important you take care of yourself is. And there were a lot of times and a lot of things that I ended up doing that wound me back on dialysis for a second time. I actually ended up healing myself the first time naturally. I'm sure we'll get into that. I healed myself naturally um, the first time, so I didn't use a transplant. I was on emergency dialysis for 2 weeks in 2021 and killed myself 3 months later with natural things. And so what ended up happening is I healed myself, didn't learn the lessons, back on dialysis in 2023, but it was worse. It put me back even further. And so, what I'm here to do is to remind you how powerful you are. I feel like my story is like anybody, a hero's journey. It's one of resilience, determination, and really wanting to be able to inspire people to remember that you are powerful. Nothing can happen to you if you don't want it to. But I think because we forget how powerful we are, that's how we get swayed in different things. And, in some cases, fall short and end up with dis-ease like I did for a second time. That's
Second time.
it.
That's crazy. Well, let's take it back. A lot to unpack right there. Um, so what side of the country you calling from? That's what
Oh,
I want.
yeah. So I'm in Washington State. I'm in Washington State, and if you don't know where that is on the left-hand side of the map above California, pretty much. So if you don't know Seattle Seahawks, there you go.
Indeed, indeed. Over on the West Coast.
Okay.
Um, you talk about, so for people who don't know, Courtney,
Mm.
can you explain like what is dialysis, right? Like, can you explain that process to people? Because you said this your second time on dialysis. Can you explain a little bit of how that happened, what led to that, and a little bit about that process for us?
Yeah, but so before I talk about dialysis, I need to talk about your kidneys, okay?
Let's do it.
your your kidneys are two powerful organs that sit on the middle of your back, and assuming that everything is normal, they should be about the size of your fist, okay? And they sit pretty much the mid part of your back. What they help you do is excrete waste. So your pee, especially your pee, you might hear the term, "Are you filtering?" If you were not peeing from your kidneys, you got to wonder, where's that waste going? If
Mm.
you're not getting toxins out, where's that waste going? It's stuck in your body. And so there are one thing that and anybody who's here, if you really want to be learning with what Bobby is saying and what I'm saying, go ahead and get you a pen and a paper. I shouldn't have to tell you that. You should be taking this like a class.
That's
Note takers are money makers. Go get you a pen and a paper.
fire.
So, because I'm giving information.
Indeed.
So, your kidneys are so powerful. If you are not getting those toxins out, you're in trouble. If your kidneys are down, you're in trouble. And so, one of the things that you need to be looking into is the stages of kidney disease. There are 5 stages to kidney disease, okay? And when you really start getting in trouble is stage 3 to 5. 5 is basically saying you are in danger zone. That's end stage renal disease, okay? And for
Mm.
many people, once they start entering stage 3B, okay, so there's stage 1 where you're pretty much normal. You don't got any deficiencies. That's where we all should strive to be, is stage 1.
Well,
Stage
so would I be considered like somebody on stage one, or is that
I don't necessarily know your total function, but I think this is a great question, right?
okay?
I think this is a great question. So, two of the ways that you should be checking out your kidney function is through a blood draw. They will be able to see your kidney function that way, or a piss, like a urine sample, excuse me. Those are two great ways. And just to be safe, I would get both if that's something you're okay with. I would get both just to see how things line up compared to the blood, compared to the urine. Um, so those are two ways that you can measure, right? You can
Right.
measure that. Now, here's some indications that something may be going wrong if we're just talking about kidneys. Like I said, there's 5 stages, but here's some of the symptoms and signs, and I actually experienced a lot of them. If you start having things, when you look at your pee and you start seeing like a lot of bubbles, you start that's abnormal. If your volume in pee, if you're only peeing like maybe little droplets, something's not right, especially
Mm.
if you're drinking a lot of fluid and all this type of stuff. Something's not processing. Those are just a couple things with your pee. There's a lot more. If you got bags under your eyes, dark circles, puffiness, something may be wrong. And then one of the biggest things that I actually experienced is swelling. I had swelling that happened in my ankles and then went all the way up to my body, especially in 2023. My body had shut down, my kidneys had shut down so much from stress. My kidneys had shut down so much from stress that in 2023, which is the second time I ended up on dialysis, my body ballooned to 240 pounds. I gained 100 pounds of water weight in a night. Not in a night, in a month. In a
Wow.
month.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. So let me ask you this: for like, how big is this dialysis kidney problem? How big is this in our community? Is it talked about enough? Please shed some light on that for me.
There are 35 million people in the United States that have chronic kidney disease.
Mm.
Many of them do not even know that they are living with chronic kidney disease because it is a silent killer, especially if you don't have some of the symptoms that I talk about, where it's like it's really showing you, oh, so, my legs are kind of chunky. I'm big for no reason. I don't get it. I'm normally 130 to 140. So when I blew up to 240, it's like that's not normal, right? But you don't have any visible symptoms. You may not have anything that's wrong with you. So many people are living with chronic kidney disease and don't know it. And people of color are leading in that. Okay, you are leading in that. And then also women. Okay. Women, you are also at a more risk than a man. And the other thing that I wanted to say about that when we're talking about risk factors, if you have high blood pressure, which is what broke me from a lot of stress, if you have high blood pressure and diabetes, those are the two leading causes for chronic kidney disease, which may lead you to dialysis. So it's a lot of things that you got to get right. Um, so that you hopefully, especially after having this conversation, can take some preventative measures.
Facts, facts. Courtney, what's the number one? What's the problem? How is this caused? What's our problem in the community that's causing our kidneys not to function?
Lifestyle. Lifestyle. One of the things that, we say in our community, black and brown communities, oh, that's white people stuff. Oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
white people stuff. White people ain't got, I'm not saying they don't. So I don't want nobody in the comments being like, but I know somebody. Shut up. What I'm saying is they are not the leaders in high blood pressure and diabetes. The reason why doctors say it's genetics is because of not because of how we were born. I was not born with this stuff. I was born healthily and quite fine. My genetics were great. But what comes on that plate, what comes across that plate, that's the genetics.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're eating like that all the time, when you're eating all the hogs and the mac and cheese and the whatever potato salad every day, it's not even every once in a while, every day, and the way you season, talking about, oh, this how my ancestors seasoned, child. Lay up off that salt because, like I said, we be like, ooh, the white people, they food nasty. They ain't got chronic kidney disease like we do.
Mm. Mm. I don't think that's talked about enough in this community.
It isn't.
So
It
what are like so what was your journey like? Let's talk about the first time you had your kidneys wasn't functioning. You went through dialysis.
isn't.
So take us back to after that time to now where you're at, how you found out, how you ran into the community and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so in 2021, after I had healed, right? Uh, I had pretty much was like, I'm feeling great. I healed naturally. I learned a lot of things, healed naturally, got off the first time, no transplant. And it happened so fast that it was only actually after when I look back at my medical records that I realized that I was on dialysis. That's how much stuff happened to me when my body gave out. I had
Mm.
to deal with a lot of stuff in the hospital really fast, like a lot of people do in emergency situations. So after that, I healed or whatever, everything was great. Went back to the same crap that broke me, went back to a crazy job. My background is education. I have over 10 years in the education space. So out here, I was working at colleges and universities, working with people's kids with things like academic advising, student affairs, just to get them going. And then I ended up working in human resources in a school district. Very great place, but it's really stressful. It's very stressful to be in a role that requires so much of you. And then um I had a person I was dealing with at the time. I had a man and we was toxic, baby. We was Bobby and Whitney on steroids, okay? We was
Now hold
toxic.
on. When you say toxic, right? Because toxicity contributes to our ailments, right? Our diseases.
Absolutely.
So when you say toxic, what are some of the toxic things you're talking about? Like well, you're not talking when you said Bobby and Whitney, I got to thinking something crazy.
And that's uh when we're talking about stress, right, a lot of us look at these things, which is crazy, as ways to escape because things are so stressful for us. We don't know how to regulate ourselves when it comes to emotions, thoughts, or challenges that come our way that may not be ours, but we have to face them. What do we turn
Indeed.
to? The bottle. What do we turn to? And a lot of in this community, in the health community, we'll talk about food as an addiction. Okay, that's understandable. I get that, especially with the stuff they put in. So food. For me, I was smoking. I'm not even a smoker like that, but I was so stressed out. I was smoking, drinking, partying, messing around. Y'all get the gesture, okay?
Fact.
Y'all get the gesture, and
Indeed.
And it was anything, I want to say something so bad. I'm trying to watch my mouth on here.
No, no, no. Go ahead. You can we can lose on here.
At that point, I was a trisexual. I was over here, I was over there, but I was numbing a lot of stuff out because I was really stressed out. I was so stressed out, that I had just also in 2021, I had just lost my six-figure job. I had
Mm,
just lost because of my health. Even though I was healing and things were back great, I had lost my job because just because I was cool doesn't mean I was totally in the green just yet. And
right.
so, with the changes in the pandemic and everything around that time, before I had gotten sick, we were asked, like everybody, to work from home. So I was working from home, everything like that, which was very stressful because now there's no separation between my home and the job. And I'm
Mm,
with this muff who was pissing me off every day. So it was just a very stressful environment. Lost my job because of my health. And so now, so when you're talking about what happened from 2021, I have no job. I'm on unemployment, which is crazy, which isn't the same amount of money that I'm used to making.
right.
I feel like crap because it's like, how am I here? And I'm just with somebody who was just no good for me because I let that though when I reflect. I accepted a lot of the stuff that he did to me, but that's because, I one thought it was going to get better and I wasn't taking care of myself at the level that I'm taking care of now. When we talk about things like self-care, we look at the outside. I love me a good hairdo, okay? My hair, I love my hair being done. I love my nails being done. But what happens to you when stuff gets messed up on the inside? What happens when things hurt on the inside? How do you take care of that? And those at that time weren't things that I knew. So fast forward to 2022, okay? Me and him break up. I'm like, I can't do this no more. We're toxic. I'm smoking and drinking just about every day, and I'm feeling terrible. I'm
Mm,
feeling absolutely terrible. My body's giving out in the worst way. I can't even walk. Like, you would think if I walked like from here to here, based on how I was wheezing and acting and sweating and shit, you would have thought that I did a marathon, a, a triathlon. Wait, yeah, I can't even say the name. But yeah, you would have thought that I did a marathon from here to here. That's how fatigued I was. My body had gave out. I was fatigued and I didn't understand it. So long story short, it would be between 2022 and 2023 that I'm still going through stress. My body, at some point, you can't have all the vices. You can't be smoking, drinking, fucking doing everything, right? Being
right.
stressed. Your body is like, bitch.
Wait, wait. And you know what? That's what most of the community is doing. Not this particular, but our community is in us. Like that's it. That's our lifestyle.
Yep. And that's the norm. And see, I
Hmm.
I wasn't like that. And it's so crazy because I always thought it would never be me. I would never end up I would never be the stupid girl in the relationship. I'll never, because I worked out. I worked out. I had a lot of money, so I bought what I knew then, even though it's the sad diet, I bought high quality foods. I shopped at Whole Foods, I shopped at Trader Joe's or the Sprouts, if you call it that in other areas. That's where I shopped. Okay. I was working out. I was drinking all the water. I was doing all the things that you would say is healthy.
Mm,
But people don't even realize that some of those things that they are doing are actually different forms of stress. Drinking gallons of water is actually a different form of stress.
mm.
And I'll get into that in a different way if I remember. But let
All
me
right.
say this in the case that I don't. How is it that water is supposed to be hydrated? Let me ask you, for these people who work out and drink their water and talk about water, how is it that you listen to these regular internet gurus who really don't know nothing about true nutrition, which is what I used to do? I used to be in all these fit challenges. What's your favorites?
Facts.
And a girl had body yaddy. I was making the stallion before making the stallion. I'm originally from H-Town, okay? So one of the things that I want to say, you're drinking 2 gallons of water, you're burdening your kidneys. You don't know that. How is it that you're drinking all this water and you still motherfucking thirsty?
Mm,
Answer me that.
talk about it.
How is it that you're drinking 2 gallons of water daily and you're still thirsty? That's not where you get your hydration. And
Mm,
And believe it or not, whatever, especially, I have a different level of understanding with how hydration now. Um, as a second time patient on dialysis, I do believe that water has a place, but it's not what hydrates you.
And now,
It-
is that something that you learned going through dialysis and being a part of that, or is that something that you knew prior?
I had to once I got on dialysis, I'll be honest, I would once I got dialysis the first time, the one thing I am thankful for my ex is that he sprang into action, talked to his networks and found a health healing group that gave me the knowledge as to why they are instructing these things.
Mm,
And when you don't have the right information, how are you going to make the right and the best decisions? Your decisions are over here, and your options are based on what somebody else tells you is what's best for you.
facts. Facts.
I had to do a lot of research, and it's not enough to do research and say, well, so and so said. I don't care. And Bobby knows I said this to his face. I
All the
don't care
time.
if Bobby said.
All the time.
How do you know? Did you apply that? And I do. You can't come to me and tell me Bobby said this. I don't care. If
Indeed.
you haven't applied the information, you're just telling me that you know how to pair information and that you think Bobby is high level, which he definitely is.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
that's all you're telling me. So
I appreciate it.
I had to apply the information though to figure out what is true and then what works for me. Okay.
Mm.
Hmm.
You know what? You so informative. I wasn't even gonna do this. We got to get into this. So
Okay. So
let's get it. Like you first off, what's the biggest misconception about a dialysis patient?
that they can't look this good. No, I'm playing.
No, what do you that's another thing though. You think of dialysis patients, you think of sick, can't like that's why I don't really understand dialysis like that because you would think that person looks sick.
Yeah. And
So
but that when we're talking about chronic kidney disease, they don't, it doesn't have, in a sense, a face. And let me just say, a chronic illness doesn't have a face because what you think, just what you're conceptualizing, just like many people say, you don't look sick, you don't look this. And what ends up happening is when you have this preconceived notion of what that should be, especially when you don't live it, you may end up rejecting that individual coming to you with everything that they are, and that's where things like misunderstanding happens. That's where things like you denying them access maybe to care, because I've definitely had that happen where
hmm,
people say, well, you don't look sick. Okay, well, my disability check says I'm sick. Give me my freaking care. Like, give me,
facts.
you don't, you're too young for this. Well, if I was too young, too this, too pretty, I would just wave my magic wand around and not have it. But that's not the case. So
Mhm.
don't you also find yourself trying to get in the way based on what you think this looks like? Because I'm telling you, like I said, 35 million Americans have it, and they're becoming younger and younger. The
Mhm.
people who are on dialysis not only just look like me, they are becoming younger and younger. So we're having this conversation. You need to be thinking about your children. You need to be thinking about how you are showing up as an example for your kids. And even if you don't have children, you might be an uncle, an auntie, or a teacher, or hold some kind of role that's in those kids' lives. How is it that you're impacting them? I don't even like the word influencer no more. How are you impacting them with how you show up?
I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Impact instead of influence.
Anybody can
That's
have anybody can have an influence. Influence
right.
just means, can you grab somebody's attention? I can do that just by sitting here.
Mm. And you
Okay.
definitely are. You definitely are. Make sure you share the live because she is an attention grabber. Courtney, so let's talk about this dialysis, kidney. Now you ran into now. How do let's talk about getting off of dialysis or getting on, however you want to say it.
Awesome.
You've been you on it, right?
Yeah.
You're on dialysis. They have a way for you to get off of dialysis.
Yeah.
You're going other ways to get off dialysis. Why on dialysis? Talk about the dialysis procedure and the medical dialysis. Is there a natural way to overcome a kidney disease?
So thank you for bringing us back because I got off track.
No
Um,
problem.
So dialysis is a machine. You are on a machine to basically pull fluid from your body because your kidneys aren't doing it. When I ballooned to 240 pounds last year, that means all I was drinking and it wasn't going nowhere. I was like peeing pitter patter. So I needed the machine to pull me off. And while we're talking about the medical industry, I will be honest, I believe in an integrative approach. I am not one to say there is no place for traditional westernized care. If I got shot right now, I would want to go to a place that can do the treatment and the surgery and all that type of stuff to get me well. I was in an
Mhm.
emergency situation. My body was shot, right? I'm telling you, I'm 240 pounds of water weight. I was fat. My feet were puffy. It was uncomfortable. I was literally obese in a month. My heart has swelled to the size of a basketball.
Mm.
So when we're talking about this in this machine, I actually have an access line that goes right here. There's many different access lines depending on the type of dialysis that you're doing. Mine is called a venous line catheter because it runs next to my heart and it pulls the fluid off of my body. They will tell me it's also cleaning my blood. I've done my research and it's not, it actually, while you're doing this, it's actually also filling you with aluminum. So, and you can have an aluminum, it can spike your aluminum levels and you can become very toxic in that way. And the machine is so powerful that most of the people who are on the machine, I've been on the machine now, like I said, the first time in 2021 was about 2 weeks. The second time now, I started in March of 2023. So it's definitely been a little over a year. Most people, they pee very little or they don't pee at all, whereas I'm getting my volume back.
Mm.
I'm getting my volume back. That's how powerful this machine is. And so, um, the way that they are going to say dialysis is helping you is yes, it's pulling off the fluid because at this point, also, you don't have the discipline to not drink as much fluid. And they also have a prescribed diet because of your condition, which is called the renal diet. And when you hear the terms renal, or nephrology, that means kidneys, okay? Renal and NEPH, that prefix means kidneys. And so the doctor you go to is a kidney doctor, and they have their own diet for you, a diet that I do not.
Can I ask you, what does that diet look like, Courtney?
Oh, it's crazy. That is so crazy. The diet that they have you on is actually going to make you worse. It's going to make you worse. Like you're eating all type of things that are so complex for your delicate kidneys anyways. And that's one thing that we need to realize. If you are going through, I call it treatment because I like to look at it positively. If you're going through treatment like dialysis, at some level, that diagnosis already, what you do in treatment is saying you're delicate, you're very fragile. But the food that they got you eating is so complex. Meat, we're not even talking about protein right now and all this type of stuff. Meat, just if you think about it, is a very complex food for you to try and eat. Things processed like bread is actually a very complex thing that you got to eat. Your body has to break all that down. And so when you're putting complex things in your body, you're making your body work harder. And so, especially if your kidneys are having a hard time, why would you burden them with anything harder? So, they got you eating things like meat, they got you eating things like crazy rice, bread. It's crazy because depending on the type of medication you have, you will need to, and I'm saying this, you will need to limit certain fruits. Like for me, even though I'm doing a lot better, I'm actually healing from this, thank goodness, because I don't follow the renal diet. I
Facts.
I do not eat large quantities of oranges because for whatever reason, the oranges, I think, based on my own experience in conjunction with some of the medication that I do have to take, I'm not on as many medications as I used to be, so I don't want to make it seem like I'm totally perfect and out of the woods, but I'm on some medication and the with the machine what happens is I think that combination creates kind of like an itchy spell in my body, and it is terrible. So I don't, when I notice when I eat certain fruits, it will trigger other things in me. So I don't do it. And part of that is because of the medication mixture. It causes what's called a contraindication. They don't agree.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. That's insane. So you don't follow what they tell you to eat. What does a day in the life of Courtney look like?
Oh, this is awesome. I love that I am not on the renal diet. The renal
Right.
diet is very slow, and so it would slow me down, but I eat fruit. I eat fruit. I know I got a little bit of makeup on, but y'all, you can't fake this skin, okay? A lot of patients who are on dialysis actually, and I experienced it what in 2023. This is what my skin looked like before dialysis. And when I had to start it a second time, my skin was so dry, it was really discolored. I did not look like myself. I couldn't stand it. And so what I love is that I'm eating fruits, and it's like I'm getting back to the essence of Courtney, and I love it. So I eat big bowls of grapes. I that's actually grapes and apples and berries are my go-to.
Mm,
Grapes, apples, and berries are my go-to. And when I say berries, especially blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, I do like strawberries, but those are the ones that I really go to because also they not only do they have great benefits. If I was just to pick one, I would definitely say if you're a patient with chronic kidney disease, go for the grapes. The darker the grapes, the better. But they're gonna help you pee. All of these things are gonna have this and herbs. So I also drink tea, and I make when we're talking about hydration, it's hard for kidney patients to pee things out. Oh, you can't see that one because it's yellow. That I'm sorry. Oh, there we go.
there it is. Beautiful.
This is actually a lemon shot. So I'm going to start sharing my little shots and where I get these cute little jars at with you all soon. And this is also a drink. It has beets, has a specially formulated tea, loose hibiscus, and lemon. So this is how I get it in. And I do drink small amounts of water, but I'm hydrated, I look good, and I feel good. So you
That's
just
a
got to
fact.
know the right things to put in your system, and you're going to see some changes. My labs have been changing.
Now I was going to get into that. Your lab's changing. Now, do you contribute? Talk about your lab's changing, and do you contribute that to what you're eating in the lifestyle that you're living?
Absolutely.
Mm,
I do contribute this to the lifestyle because if that were the case, right, there's been people that I've met who've been on dialysis longer than I have, 15 years, their whole life, they're not peeing. That's one indication, right? They're not
that's a
peeing.
fact.
You lose also when you're doing this process, when you're on this machine, your blood is circulating outside of your body. Okay. Your blood is circulating outside of your body. So you're never going to really get 100% of your blood back when it's going through these tubes. And so some of the issues that patients also have is low blood count. Part of that, a big part of that is because your kidney function is down. Your blood count, you're going to have anemia, low iron. So my numbers have been stabilizing. Okay. And this is the second time. I did not heal the first time with a transplant. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do any of that. I healed the first time uh, naturally, eating fruits and herbs and some vegetables, but mostly fruits and herbs. I did over 100 days on seedless grapes. Okay. Don't even
Mm,
get me started on that. Seedless grapes. And so I'm on it a second time, and my labs are improving. I just got my labs back and showed everybody here in the Fruit Up community. My lab numbers are cut in half. And so this is hard work. I'm closer to being up off of this. Your creatinine range is one of the things that you should be looking at when it comes to an indication of your kidney function. And the range that it should be in is zero point 0.7 to a 1. Right now, I'm sitting at about a 2.5. Okay, so I'm almost at the top of the range. We're almost at the inside. And so
fire.
I'm here inside of the Fruit Up community in this energy, as my good friend Bobby would say, in this energy, working with people who are dedicated to their health so I can continue to focus and show how powerful we are and really show how powerful God is. As said.
Mm, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. We ain't gonna let you get off that easy now. 100 days on grapes, right?
Yeah.
And it's so crazy that you mentioned that, which is like phenomenal work. Put some fire emojis in the chat for my sister. 100 days on grapes to heal herself, family. So let me talk about this. It goes right into my next thing. How
Mhm.
easy or difficult is it to eat like this? Because I hear you say, I have a big bowl of grapes. I'm eating like this. I eat like that. Is it difficult? Do you have some hardships? Like, can you talk about how
Uh,
you are able to eat like that?
it, for me, this go around is very different. So the first time I had, even though me and my boyfriend at the time was crazy, he didn't play about my health, and he definitely was instrumental. The health group that I was with the former time, they were instrumental. I would be lying if I said I didn't have support. I
Mm,
would be lying if I said I didn't have support. Environment is everything. It
indeed.
is definitely everything. And so when all this happened, the second time, I had to move back in with my parents. I'm no longer with that man, so we broke up, and then it wasn't really safe for me to be out anyways. Even though I did actually have money saved up, it wasn't safe for me to be out. I was falling out everywhere, so I moved in with my family. Love my immediate family, but family is family. Uh,
Facts.
and when you are in this lifestyle, and like I told you at the top of this, I'm originally from Houston. I grew up eating pork, and if you act like you better than somebody who grew up eating pork, shut up, because I'm sure I could find something about you that is a vice, right? Or is deemed terrible. So
Of
don't
course.
mental. And I would say I'm indigenous, but I know my father is Nigerian, and so I'm African. I grew up eating certain type of meat, beef. Okay, give me all the meat, give me all the beef. I'm with the smoke. Okay. And so it was very hard. It's very hard knowing that I haven't eaten meat actually on my own since 2021, for real. I really haven't. I don't eat meat. I don't do that. But that doesn't mean I don't like other things, okay? Doesn't
Facts.
mean I don't like other hot plates. My mom be up in the kitchen cooking, all this type of stuff. My family still eats how they eat, and I live at home. So that
Mm,
means I got to lock myself in the room. That means I'm usually in the car, out and about, doing whatever I have to do to get away and to focus. And I think the more that I am making myself a priority, I definitely feel the difference. And that's why I also lean on individuals like you, individuals in the group who are very high level. I could be going down the list, the Ra Ishmaels, the Lisas, the Rachels, the Winnie kicking boards,
when you kicking board.
the completely Coles, everybody. There are so many high level people in this group that if it the only reason why shit don't work is because you don't want it to. The
That's a
only
fact.
reason why it's not working is because you're not putting in your best effort. That doesn't mean I don't struggle. That doesn't mean that it's that I think it's easy, because it's definitely not. But I'm learning the more that I can stay in this energy and be disciplined and focused, that I also gain a certain type of confidence. That's why people can't come up to me and say Bobby Smith said. I don't care. Like, love you, I do, but you don't
Indeed.
know about kidney disease. So why would I have you be my leader? That would be no different. That actually is the mindset that triggers me, because it would be no different than saying, this doctor said, well, you go to the doctor and tell them my head hurts, and they do a lab and say, well, nothing is wrong with you because I can't see it. So why would I put all my trust, all my everything, and what so said leader said, if you haven't applied that information, and if I haven't applied the information to know it's true? I don't care. I'm just not built like that. I don't care if I was on the SAD diet. You ain't gonna tell me about me.
I love it. I love it. A lot of people need to develop that attitude, because they go into it trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Let's talk about environment. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith community.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
you in there doing your thing and they're killing it.
Thank
Talk
you.
about your interest into the community. Talk about your experience in there and how the community has helped you and encouraged you.
Yeah, so I actually found your page. I believe it was last year, actually. I found your page last year sometime. And I was just like, I hear what this dude talking about, whatever, whatever. And you just add stuff and you don't really know. But I wasn't also really participating, right? I just, oh, it's another fruit community. Let me add this because I know that's what I want to be on anyway.
Right, right.
Nothing to it. Body gave out. And then I really started paying attention to you. I really would start checking into your group, this, that, and the third. And you realize even though you really are big time, once you start getting into certain groups, you start actually seeing how small the world really is.
Facts.
So you have very big platforms, so it's not a diminishment. But once I've been in this space for a little while, so I start seeing certain other people that I'm like, oh, I remember you, I remember you, I remember you. They're here, so I'm like, okay, he must be on to something. Let me really. So it wasn't actually until about September that I really was like, I need to make some changes. I want to be making some friends who are really focused on this because it is also, we're talking about the benefits of being in the fruit up lifestyle, or just being, I don't even like saying plant based or vegan because, child, you can be eating them Beyond Burgers
I'm
and
telling you.
you more messed up than going to eat a regular cow. Okay. So
Facts.
don't, don't come with me. Also, I'm plant-based. What does that mean? Okay,
Right, right.
does vegan actually mean? So,
A lot.
right. So I was
Hmm.
just like, he's doing something right, and I want to see what's up. I want to be around people that really are really the future of what I want to be. I think when we're talking about environment, it's so easy to look at what's happening around us and forget about what the goal is because the reality doesn't match what the goal is. But
Mm.
the bridge between you and that goal is the work, is the action. I don't remember the Bible verse, but God says faith without works is dead. You can't expect God to give you all this and you're not even willing to take the first step. So I knew that I needed to be around other individuals that were marching to the beat of where I know I'm capable of being, and I needed a lot of them. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get in the room with this guy. I'm going to get in the room with the big dogs, and I'm going to show myself what I'm about. And so I've been with you since September, even though I started my first boot camp in October with you. It's now November and I'm still here. But September, I started training myself as Bobby laid out what the cadence was going to be for the boot camp. So I really started training myself in September, waking up early, listening to your early AM show, your rising show, and then what's it called? Being making sure that I took accountability pictures to say I was up this early rising, and then that I was basically going to be available for the time that our accountability meeting would be in the evening. So I was
Mm.
up with you in the rising, and I ended my day with you, and I still do. It's been over. I've been active in this group now. Started being active like the last 2 weeks of September. It's been over 60 days I've been with you, and we're getting
Indeed.
results.
We thriving right now. We thriving right now. You know what? It's been a spectacular experience. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Because even your growth and everybody's energy in the community has helped me. And
yeah,
that's why I say energy feed energy.
yeah,
It's that time to be a part of this. Like you said, you just entered in September. You've already it's the enthusiasm, it's the energy, it's the excitement, the getting up every single day, doing it no matter what we going through, joining together every night, accountability. So definitely, if you're not in the community, get in the community right now. Um, Courtney, Courtney. You got a lot going on. You got a lot to look forward to. What's the future holding for Courtney? What you looking forward to?
the first thing is getting off dialysis again. That is the first thing. We often hear health is your wealth. Well, health is the truth. You will not be able to stand in the truth with your health in a disarray. You won't be able to be the best person you can be. You can't be great at your job and produce anything the way that you want to. You can't do anything if you're not standing on a great foundation. And that's the abundance right there, is the wealth. Because when the money was gone, when the six figures was gone, when the man was gone, all those things, the titles, it didn't matter. Okay. Those material things do not matter. What are the intangibles that you can't freaking pay for? Your health,
Wow.
love. Those are the intangibles that you can't pay for. Those, your money will not buy you happiness. Trust me, I lived it, I know it. So once I get off dialysis again, I'm declaring it, I'm claiming it is mine. I know it.
You
Okay.
got it.
Once I get off dialysis again, for sure, I would love to be able to coach women facing chronic kidney disease, specifically dialysis, who want to go about health another way than what the traditional Western medicine is telling you is possible. Right now, I'm showing you for a second time, is living proof that you can do a lot of things if you have the right information. And so I want to be able to encourage women facing dialysis, facing chronic kidney disease, to remember the truth of them and not the lie, to remember that they're powerful, but they got to have the right information. And so I want to be able to inspire them through things like gratitude. Gratitude is an aspect of mindset which helps you. Oh my God. Why you do
I
that?
don't know.
Thanks, Ma Joe. Why you do that? I want to inspire people. This is my, you can't really see with this background. This is my gratitude journal. And this is one of the first things to help me practice mindset. You are not going to be able to get anywhere if your mind ain't right. Your body follows your mind in everything that you do. And so we're talking about diet in terms of what we're ingesting here. But if this isn't right and you're filling it with toxic things, toxic boyfriends, toxic food, toxic music, telling environments that tell you you ain't never gonna be ish, you're gonna believe it and you're gonna stay on your path.
That's a fact.
You're going to believe it and you're going to stay on your path. And so, if you want to be encouraged and inspired to remember that you are capable, that this chronic illness does not define you, because it definitely doesn't define me, then I'm going to be your girl. I want to be the girl to help you remember how powerful you are and see what you can do for yourself when you take action. So, I have a business that's called Getting Off Dialysis. That's really what this is. And it will be for patient coaching. I put it up right now because I feel like I'm just right there, but this is one of my goals and I got to keep it front and center. So I'm just so thankful to be able to broadcast this on a platform that actually is really dedicated to health and inspiring others to remember how powerful we really are and how important it is to collaborate and just work with other people. We all need each other. That
That,
idea of get it out the mud, I got it on my own, is a lie.
that's a
It's
lie.
a
They saved that for our people, didn't they?
lie. No, that's what I'm saying. That's why we be like, oh, that's white people stuff. I'll be white today then.
You know what? I was listening to Charleston White in one day, and he is like, our people will
Oh yeah.
literally argue over who grew up the worst.
Oppression Olympics.
That's a fact. Like
Because it's
we got it's
mentality.
crazy. Go ahead, please elaborate on that.
I'm sorry, because you be getting me when I talk to Bobby, he be getting me fired up. I be like, I'm a chill, and Bobby be getting me fired up. But it's the oppression Olympics, and I think one of the things people struggle with is identity.
Mm,
Here's why I say identity is because you may come from a single parent household, you may come from abuse, you may come from anything that is a challenge and a struggle that really does tamper with your being. Everybody got a story. But
mm.
the issue is, do you stay there? Because if that becomes the truth of you, you're going to expect that you're going to say that it's somebody else's fault that this happened to me. And I'm not saying things don't happen to you, but at the end of the day, you're going to be responsible with how you think and feel about yourself, even if that thing happened to you, which I'm not condoning any kind of violence or abuse. I've experienced them: sexual abuse, domestic abuse, all types of abuse. Okay.
Mm.
But if I let that be the truth of me, I would just say that it's somebody else's fault, and somebody else is going to have to be responsible for taking care of me because I can't handle my own affairs. And that's the problem when you don't remember the truth of you. For me, my true identity, I am a child of God. I'm a woman of God. You can't tell me nothing else. You can't tell me nothing else. I'm a woman of God. And what I mean by that is I believe that God is within me. That's what gives me this superpower to remember that I am more than this machine. That's how I'm able to eat seedless fruit and say, God is that powerful that a, and we really got to stop saying that seedless fruit ain't powerful because it is. It helped me heal. I actually lost my eyesight the first time because my blood pressure was so high. It was 260 over 160. And so I lost my eyesight actually the first time with my blood pressure. I told you all that blood pressure is the one of the leading causes of chronic kidney disease. I lost my eyesight, literally could not see. I
Mm.
ate seedless grapes. So we really got to get off this mess of seedless grapes aren't this. God is that powerful that those grapes are mature enough to reproduce. The seed is immature, but it reproduced. So we really got to stop saying this mess that seedless grapes ain't it. I'm telling you that God gave me vision to see what the truth is. I'm gonna keep eating these seedless grapes and show y'all what's up.
You already know. You already know that I don't play that.
Yeah,
Like most people don't even have a lot of seeded fruits available. For one,
exactly.
the other thing about that, just to touch on it real quick, most people who say they eat seeded grapes don't even like the seeds in the grapes.
Because you got to spit them out. They get.
Yeah,
I don't even
like
like eating grapes.
stop playing with me. So, wow. So hold on, Courtney. You in the group, you in the boot camp, you with Bobby Smith, you with the community, you high level. What do you see? I got a question because you know what we gonna do because I told you we was gonna do the podcast about sex in the community.
Oh snap!
Right, right. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna have to talk about sex in the community. A lot
Yeah.
of people don't like to talk about sex in the community. You said you would talk about it, right?
So,
So just to start off, like, what is the problem you see with your fellow sisters in the community? Like the ones that used to be like you. Why are they so hard to penetrate? Or is that an issue that you find?
when you say penetrate, and I don't even mean to be funny. What do you
I know
mean?
you don't. I know you don't.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't mean to be funny, but I'm like, wait a minute. What do you? I gotta ask the question. What do you mean by that? Give me
Well,
clarity.
we ain't gonna say all of them that hard. I mean, up here though, to get
No,
them to
okay.
change their lifestyle and stuff though. Yeah, for
Oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah. I think it's a couple of reasons. A couple of reasons. You know, we are moved by emotions, whether
Fact.
we know it or not. We are moved by emotions, and so if you don't know how to regulate them, you're gonna be all over the place. So me saying this stuff to you, if you don't have any stern reason that sits in your core, like why you should change, you're gonna hear this information and be like, man, she bullshitting. She don't know what
Mhm.
she's talking about. My doctor is saying this, this, and this. Ain't no way it could be that simple just eating certain fruit. So if you in your mind don't have the right information, you're gonna be led and lied to. That's the truth. You're gonna be led and lied to because the truth is you don't think that you're that powerful enough and that you're not deserving enough for change.
Mm.
You're not deserving enough to see that because the crazy part is before all of this, oh, I don't get me wrong. I was a baddie. I'm still a baddie. Even with this, it don't stop. It don't stop motherfuckers
That's
from
a
wanting.
fact.
It don't. It really don't. I'm gonna be honest.
What's a baddie? What's a baddie? What you talk? What
It's
you mean
me.
you was a
You
baddie?
want to see this face? You know, I got face. I got body. I got everything. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes me so different now is that I have a mindset. I am realizing how low my standards were, even though I
Mm,
was making six figures, even though I had a body like Megan the Stallion, even though I could do whatever if you wanted in the bedroom.
mm,
It wasn't enough for me to keep the motherfucking man I want. Hell, some of the women that I wanted, it wasn't enough for me to feel fulfilled. So why was I so empty and I had all that? Because I wasn't right in here
mm,
because I didn't have that connection with myself to say that I'm enough. I'm enough with or without somebody else. And, when you start eating fruits, it's going to start speaking to you in a way that is very different than what the world is going to tell you is okay. So
Facts.
you're going to also have to be okay with being alone, being misunderstood. You're really going to have to be okay with being different. And when you can do that, there's a certain strength and confidence that you have that cannot be taken away. And so when you can get to that level of, I love her, I love myself now, even with this. In fact, I call my access line my love line, because I don't want to see it as something as separate as me. And I'm going to say this is that we
Mm,
often, this is why I practice gratitude, and this is why I created my gratitude journal. I have a spiral bound journal that you can get, or a digital copy of a spiral bound journal that you can get. And I'm actually in the works of creating a gratitude journal just for people that are facing chronic kidney disease and dialysis. I want to tailor it. So that's what I'm working on. But
fire.
the thing that I really want to say is that when you have this type of confidence, when you have this fruit going through you, you're really going to have to say, I can't do it like everybody else. I can't be like everybody else. I have to be able to hold on to what's bringing me peace. You're actually going to be able to start to experience real peace, real clarity. And so it's going to be really hard when somebody else comes in to disrupt that. I will look like a fool. If somebody came in arguing at me, cussing me out, all this type of stuff, I really sit here and be like, dang, I could really go at them, but do I want to raise my blood pressure? Do I want to rattle myself, or will I rather look like a dummy? Look like a dummy because I'm choosing to walk away from this rather than get rah-rah with them too.
Mm,
You'll start to see the things that are at stake and what really matters when you put yourself first. And if anybody else isn't at that standard, you're going to say, I love you, but I'm not fucking with you.
facts. Facts. I've explained it. That's what I had to do. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, for some reason, all I keep thinking about was, didn't you say you was doing something in the bedroom?
Oh, yeah. But I got standards now. I got standards now. So that's the other thing. I've been celibate. I've been celibate. Like I said, it doesn't stop anything. I've
Facts.
been celibate now for it'll be going on 3 years. Don't get me wrong, I'm a female. I still get urges. I know what the feeling is like. It still work. Everything for me still work. But
Yes.
I don't have time to mess with somebody. I don't want somebody to think my love line or my access line is a freaking bell or whistle, or and try and pull it. And I'm being serious. These are things I gotta think about.
That's getting crazy now. You
I'm being serious.
facts though.
I gotta think about who I'm letting into my space, and my sacred space at that, because now
Indeed.
merging with you in such a way like you're gonna be in my head. And if you fucked up and you bringing all your little demon bitches with you, I'm gonna be fucked up, and it's gonna pull me back with all the work I've been doing on myself. Because the truth is, I'm sorry, females, when we're talking about making love and all this type of stuff, even if you say you on demon time, you gonna tie yourself to this dude, and you really gonna be dickmatized. I don't care if you say, oh, I know how to detach myself. I know, bitch, you dickmatized. Trust me, I know, been there, lived it. I'm taking a break. Me and my pussy is on the shelf.
So many women need to hear that message.
Put it on the shelf, ladies. These
That's
men
a
will act
fact.
better. Put it on the shelf. These men will act better. Stop sending these pictures. Stop sending all that. Put it on a shelf. These men will act like they have some damn sense. But
That's a
you got
fact.
to act like you have sense first.
Discipline is a key. Discipline is life. Like, if you can't say no, you will go. So, you feel
Oh,
me? Uh,
I used to be about that life.
we gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about that life. You know what? Talking about that life
Mhm.
gives people so much more respect for us for where we at now. You
Mhm.
know, when I say I used to be a clown, I used to be a clown. You know what I'm saying? When I hear you talk about the men, and like when I hear women talk about men they used to be with, sometimes a part of me still be like, because I was that. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's like they still talking about me in a sense because I
Yeah.
can relate.
Yeah.
What's your so let me give you the floor. We're gonna get up out of here. Let me give you the floor. It's your world.
Oh my.
Courtney Akinniyi's world. Let's talk. Let me give you the floor. You got it. Tell the world whatever you want to tell them. This has been beautiful. I appreciate your time. You excellent. You marvelous. I'm gonna say more afterwards.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Y'all, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really do want to say thank you so much for being here because what it's saying is that you are curious and you care about your health. It is so important that you take care of yourself. It really is. I really had everything in that sense and I lost it all. And it's going to sound so crazy to say, but I'm actually very thankful. This opportunity to be on dialysis and in the chronic kidney disease community has opened up my eyes to myself and people in so many different ways that have helped me find compassion, helped me to slow down so I can also see the importance of health. But you don't need to crash out for that to happen. I really do encourage you to start looking up information, get in groups that are really sharing this information. This group right here, Fruit Up with Bobby Smith, is incredible. Not only do we have a wonderful person at the helm who is a leader, but he is creating other leaders for them to express themselves and what they're experiencing with fruit. It's not enough just to say the fruit has this mineral, this mineral, this mineral. What does that actually mean to a person that is dealing with chronic kidney disease? What does that mean for a person that is facing dialysis? What does that mean for a person that doesn't know where to turn to when it comes to their health? Let's start talking about the real impacts that fruit have on our life. Let's start talking about the real impact that fruit, vegetables, and herbs have on our life, okay? And really share that information. So, one of the last things that I'm going to leave you with is like I said, my name is Courtney Akinniyi, and I'm really here to just inspire and encourage women to women facing chronic kidney disease and dialysis to know how powerful they are. So I don't know, Bobby, if this is the time for me to share where you can find me, but
Share that. Hey, you better share it.
thank you for coming through the background. So you can find me at Getting Off Dialysis, Getting GETTINGOFF Dialysis. You can find me there on Instagram and TikTok. I'm mainly on TikTok. TikTok sees everything first. And you can find me here on Facebook at Courtney Akinniyi. I'm really excited and really looking forward to being able to connect with you all and being able to get to know you as well on your health journey so that we can support each other, especially into the new year. So go ahead and get started. Don't get left behind because, as Bobby says, it's that time.
It's that time. Courtney Akinniyi. Let me tell you this. Courtney Akinniyi, you are beautiful spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we got going on in the community. Like, I have to be honest. When I first started this group, I often tell people I've never joined a Facebook group for support, right? So I didn't really know why people was joining groups for support. So I literally created these groups to see why people was joining groups for support. And running into individuals like you said, we creating leaders. No, we're finding them. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? We're really finding the leaders. They coming out. And that's what this community is all about. Everybody's a leader because you got to lead yourself.
that part.
So you've been tremendous. I'm honored to be a part of your journey, a part of your success. I see big things coming for you. You've been a tremendous part of your group, good energy, and I'm looking forward to your success. So, with that being said, though, we still got to get it in on another podcast. So, y'all be looking out for me and Courtney coming on another podcast to talk about some other stuff other than this. But we definitely gonna talk about this always because this is important, sis. I appreciate your time. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Love you, Bobby.
Love you too. Thank you. Thank y'all for joining. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith. Fruit Up with Bobby Smith YouTube, Instagram. Make sure y'all share this live. It's tremendous information in here. Please, please share with all your friends and family. Until then, we out Sunday. Juice Champs. Me and Lachey back at it. Divine being divine. Make sure y'all join us. Sis, you have a great night. And I'll see you tonight, actually.
Yes, you will.
Indeed. Fruit Up family. Love y'all.